All right, so National Pink Day is celebrated on June 23rd every year. As you might imagine, it's a day to celebrate the meaning, history, and beauty of the pale shade of red. Surveys in both the United States and Europe found pink to be most commonly associated with femininity, sensitivity, and tenderness. From pink being a subject of recent pop culture to interesting facts about the delightful shade throughout time, the day celebrates all things pinky, pinky, pinky. And I wore pink yesterday. So today I'm not wearing pink. Today you are wearing pink, so you'll be alright.
Something like that.
All right, so let's quickly run to what we found in the news. Let me start with you, EC. What did you find for us in the news today?
Okay, I'm trying to dig it out. So if somebody else can actually take the story first, then
okay, so who is ready?
Okay,
let me take the one that seems to be selling like hot akara right now.
Yes, so.
The Metropolitan Police in a statement said that Beatrice Nwaneka Ekweremadu and Ike Ekweremadu, a former deputy state senate president who are 55 and 60 years old respectively, have been remanded in custody and will appear at Oxbridge Magistrates Court. That was the breaking news. And then what came later on was that they weren't granted bail. The beginning of this is about organ harvesting. The story is about them, yes, is that it?
Go ahead.
Yeah. The story is about them having taken a young boy to the UK, claiming that he's 21 years old, and they actually, applied for a medical visa. But I think the main issue is, number one, he's a minor. They lied about the age. Number two, they had promised him a better life. Number three, he more or less didn't have a choice. It was based on the circumstances of his life that made him offer himself, or maybe just go along with it, that anything to just, if this destiny is not working for me, let me give someone else the destiny to use. And they say that they found out in the hospital that he told the doctors himself that he was a young boy. And someone said at the same time that, why couldn't they find matches within the family? Why did they have to look for outsiders to match them? I mean, if you think anybody could survive with one kidney, which most donors can, then within the family you should have gotten a good match. Why go the way where you can...
It was almost like exploiting a young man.
Yes, exploiting a young man, and you think you can do away with his life, whether or not he makes it out of surgery alive. I wanted to be brief, so I just gave it to you like that. So we don't take too much time.
So we're going to keep talking about that.
Yes.
It's something that is really hot and is
it's
brilliant.
still ongoing.
Because I just asked a simple question. I said, had this happened in Nigeria, first of all, we would not have even heard.
Nobody
would not have known that, because it's happening by the minute. Nobody knows anything. Because it's happening in the UK, that's why something like this is coming to the fore. So I mean, this is really big. We're going to keep an eye on it, but trust me, this guy has exploited someone, because, again, capitalizing on poverty. There's poverty in the land. The guy must have been promised all sorts of things without even knowing the consequences. So that's highly manipulative. Because a 15-year-old does not know the consequence of donating a kidney.
Even if he knew, he's too young to make the decision
to donate.
Absolutely. When it's not a direct family member.
Absolutely. So, Norma, your story, or Isi, have you found yours?
Okay, Isi.
Yes, I'm ready.
Go ahead,
you're
please.
ready for me. Okay, my story goes thus. It says that how fuel attendant was killed. Manager beaten by Nigerian Air Force officer in Niger State. And this was brought up by the management. And it says that the young man who was actually killed actually got someone who was interested in having his nails done. So it was the manicurist that came into the filling station when the Air Force officer came in and said that they wanted to buy fuel at the gas station. But when they got there, they were told to hold on and get confirmation, because they usually buy fuel via coupons. So while they were getting coupons, getting the confirmation from the office, the officers decided to have their nails done. So one of the officers whose nails was actually being done by the manicurist was told that, the manicurist cannot use naked flames in the premises, which is a gas station. Of course, we all know that. And based on what they said, that this local manicurist actually uses a gas flame, or what's it called, flame, to actually sterilize his equipment. So in the process of doing this, he was cautioned, and this actually got the officer agitated, and he got upset and beat up the station manager, and at the end of the day shot him. And that is the story.
Sad, very sad. There's a lot going on.
A whole lot going on.
Very
quickly, I just want to say it's International Widows Day, and shout out goes to my dear mother-in-law. She's a widow. And also, Mercy Chiwo, congratulations to her as well. We need some good news in between.
Yeah.
All right, so quickly, my story is quite interesting because it's about a lawyer who attended the Supreme Court proceedings today in his traditional worshippers' regalia after Apex Court approved use of hijab in schools and public places. So the Nigerian lawyer, whose name is, Malcolm Omiobo, appeared in court and caused a stir when he attended the proceedings in his traditional worshippers' regalia. And according to him, he decided to dress this way following the Supreme Court's judgment that allows all Nigerians to express their way of worship and use their, worship attire in public places as well as schools. It's a really interesting story to see because this is going to change the narrative on a whole lot of levels, right? Where people who now feel, and he's a lawyer, so he knows the implications, right?
Yes.
And he has decided to showcase. He even said something about his children also showing up in school with their traditional attire, their traditional worship attire as well. Because if this is going to be allowed for the Muslims or Christians or whatever other religions, then they need to be permitted to express themselves as well. So this is quite interesting because I'm wondering how it is going to play out in the near future.
Going forward. And with you taking the topic today about religion playing into politics, this is how they start coming up one by one, saying that, well, this is my religion. I mean, most people tend to recognize Christianity and Islam as the two major religions in Nigeria, but there's so many others.
Absolutely.
And traditionally so. So when we start coming with the babalawos and the ifas and the oracles, I want to see how we're going to now
manage the whole situation.
When we start talking about politics, which we're going to later on, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's sad. You see, this conversation, you can't even exhaust it. So mine is just to draw attention. I saw a very disturbing video this afternoon or earlier this morning of a military man that was heavily drunk, and he was
hitting cars,
harassing people, and taking off extorting them. Someone had done the video saying that the man was drunk, so you could see him visibly hitting cars, harassing people, and this guy was armed, right? So I mean, we keep on saying that, brutality, reforms and all of that. This is why you can clearly see the boy squeezing money into the policeman and see the way he's hitting the car.
He did it to like 5 cars.
Yes, he did like 2. So he was heavily drunk. So everybody just had to cooperate because you do not know what will trigger him the way he was hitting. Isi, you were saying?
I said, and no one actually knows if he was trigger happy. So it's very important that they are very careful in the process of, interacting with him.
So this is really disturbing, and I'm bringing the story up, hoping that the right authorities would bring him to book, because look, can you imagine? He's using
eventually his colleagues came to drag him away, but the fact that he could have gone on for so long,
that's what I'm saying to you now.
Is what is really scary, because he kept using the butt of the gun towards drivers and hitting them and in uniform. Who's going to approach you?
He actually slammed it on somebody's windscreen and shattered it. Broke the windscreen as well.
Yeah. See, this is them now apprehending.
So they need to not just apprehend him. We need to go and do a lot of psychological examination for most people that we give guns to in this country.
Yes.
All right. So we'll take a break now. When we come back from the break, let's discuss politics and religion. Stay with us. We'll be right back.